Welcome to the Austin All Day Podcast. This is episode 12, and I am here with Chef Darryl Payne of Geraldines. It's not every day that we get to speak to a chef who is also training to be in the Olympics, but Chef Darryl is doing just that. I had a great conversation with him. You guys sit back, grab a drink, and check it out. Chef Darryl Payne.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently you're doing a couple things, a couple cool things.
Yeah. I'm straight up just cooking. I'm working out. I'm training clients.
Working out like a madman.
Yeah. I mean,
That's how it looks.
There's a goal behind it, though. So
There is a goal.
training for the Olympics.
Training for the Olympics. There it is. Cat's out of the bag, because that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
It is. So skeleton.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm familiar, but not familiar. Can you explain that aspect of what you're doing right now?
So skeleton, it's an interesting sport. It's fast. It's a question that I get all the time. So I explain it by asking, do you know what bobsled is?
Yeah.
Do you know what luge is?
Yeah.
Okay. It's on the same track.
Okay.
But
Same track,
yeah,
literally.
same ice track. Right?
Okay.
Luge, it's feet first, and
Okay.
then skeleton is head first.
All right.
So luge, feet first on your back, and skeleton, head first on your belly.
So I have to, I'm sure you've been asked this before.
Yeah,
Okay, we're in Texas.
right.
That's like a cold sport, right?
Right.
Where did this come from?
So I was recruited by the USOC,
Okay.
and I did a scouting camp up in Colorado Springs.
All right.
And so originally they recruited me for bobsled, but when I got there and they saw me, they were like, "Well, you're too small." So, but they liked the weight that I was throwing around, how fast I was, how powerful, explosive, and all that.
So for a bobsled, you need to be more like bulky?
Yeah, you need to be like a football player.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're like, you're just too small.
Yeah.
So why don't you come out for skeleton, because you'll be really good at that. So,
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I'm 5'9.5", 165 pounds. For skeleton, I mean, for bobsled, you have to be at like 225.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
on my 5'9.5" frame, I feel like I would lose all kinds of power from being so heavy, and I'd be so slow. So it's just not.
I mean, that's a huge
Yeah.
jump from 165. And you're currently completely shredded. I mean, if your Instagram is current, you
It's
look
current, yeah.
you look great. I mean,
Thanks.
So along with, I mean, there's a lot of questions I have, but the physical fitness, that's obviously something you're just passionate about. But what is that like? How does that play into the skeleton?
Physical fitness. Are you talking about like me being a personal trainer?
So you're a personal trainer too.
Yeah.
So let's get that out there.
Yeah.
So you cook at Geraldines,
Right.
on the line.
Right.
You are training for the Olympics,
Right.
for the skeleton,
Yeah.
and you're also a personal trainer. So no, I'm not talking about that. I just thought you were
Okay.
you're like passionate about being like
No.
fit. It's like your thing.
Well, I mean, I think fitness is kind of a side effect of training for the Olympics. You know, it's not the goal.
Yeah.
The goal, I mean, I guess essentially is to be fit for my sport, and I guess the term fitness is kind of relative anyway, depending on what you're trying to be fit for.
Right.
But yeah, fitness it's a side effect, and I want fitness to be approachable. So that's what I bring to my personal training.
Sure.
I make it so anybody could learn to do pull-ups. Anybody could learn to do push-ups. I wasn't always an athlete. I feel like I became an athlete when I was a sophomore in high school, when I changed my mindset and said, "Hey, I want to try to compete in the Olympics." And
So that's when you were a sophomore. How old are you now?
I'm 27.
27.
Yeah.
So this has been something that you've been,
I've been pursuing it for a while. Yeah.
Okay, and you feel pretty confident right now?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I'm the strongest I've ever been, the fastest, the most powerful.
So I guess when I was asking, because the skeleton, it's not like running or But it definitely requires some, like, you have to be your frame, your
Right.
core needs to be strong, right?
Right. So I mean, you start off running.
You do.
Yeah, you start off running on the ice.
Okay.
And you have like these special shoes, like 300 spikes on the bottom of it. And you get like a super powerful start. It's like 15, 20, 25 meters.
Yeah.
And then you jump on the sled. So when you jump on the sled, then that's when you start to
Face first.
Yeah, you steer using your core, so your shoulders, your knees, and it's not the best way to steer, but you can sometimes use your toes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the first time you did that, when you know, everything, you know, this is what you were steered towards, the skeleton.
Yeah.
And you've done it, obviously.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, I'm backtracking to the first time because it, to me, looks like a kamikaze.
It's
a little terrifying.
It's crazy. It's silly me. I didn't look up the sport before I got to New York, but whenever I got there, I was like, oh, that's what this is.
Right.
But they don't start you off from the top. They start you off from like a fourth start, which is like down lower the track. And I mean, it's crazy how fast you think you're going, but you're really going pretty slow in comparison to how fast you'll be going later.
What's the angle, or is that set? Like the angle that you're going
descent,
down? Yeah.
it's different at every track.
Okay.
So every track in the world is different. No two tracks are the same.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's also interesting.
Yeah.
So where do you train here?
I train in Austin.
Yeah. I mean,
In Austin, I train at Austin Simply Fit, which is where I'm also a trainer at. And then I also train at Outright Fitness and Performance.
so this is for, like, you know, lifting and cardio.
Lifting and
what
sprinting
about
and all
the
that.
actual skeleton?
That's
training?
in Lake Placid, New York.
Okay, so that's not like you're not doing that frequently, the actual
Right.
act of.
Right. I'm there for 2 weeks every month, starting in October.
Okay.
And then I go all the way through March. And the goal is every year to just be there longer.
Yeah.
So, I do like a lot of fundraising to support that, to be away from work for so long and still pay rent.
Sure.
And still pay electricity and car note and all that stuff and insurance. And then, when I'm here, I'm just like busting my butt, hustling every second of the day just to try to make a dime so I can, add that to my piggy bank for training.
And you're busy. I mean, you're at Geraldines right now.
Yep.
And is that like you're there a lot? Is it full time?
Yeah, that's my full-time job. That's like my main gig.
Okay. How you like that?
I love it. I love every bit of it. It's the chefs there allow you to be creative, and they allow you to experiment. They encourage you to try different things, and they're super supportive of the dream too. So I mean, I couldn't really ask for a better spot right now.
That's great. And not to mention, are you in there in the evenings like they do all the live music?
Yeah. Well, I started off as a night cook, but now I'm doing kind of like a split thing. So Monday and Tuesday I'm there at night, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday is when I'm there in the morning doing prep shifts. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Prep is nice, right?
Yeah, it's good.
I actually, a couple hours ago, ran into your Sue, Garrett Worley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody told me to go to Lucky Robot because they're going to do like from 1 to 3 o'clock, like an awareness about the overfishing of bluefin tuna.
Right. Oh, he was at Lucky Robot.
So I walked in there and I didn't realize it was like a presentation.
Uh-huh.
And yes, he's like, Jason. And I was
Okay.
like, oh, yeah, I zoned in and it was him.
Yeah.
And he was in this meeting and I left. I told him, I actually tried to park my truck to go back, but it wasn't going to work.
Okay.
But I ran into him.
That's
and
cool.
I was like, how funny is it that I'm going to see you? And then there he was. But
Yeah, every time he sees you, I guess to get his knife sharpened or something, he's like, "Hey, Jason says hi." I'm like, "Jason." Oh, Jason.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Which just leads me to, I mean, we met at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
For a brief time, we crossed paths there. But before that, where are you originally from?
I was born in San Antonio.
You were born in San Antonio.
And then I around like fourth grade or something fourth grade is when I moved to Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
And just kind of grew up the rest of my years there.
And that's, you kind of got some Creole influence out there.
Mm-hmm.
and that stuck with you.
Yeah.
Pretty hardcore, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Cajun food, a lot of the Cajun culture, a lot of the Creole culture over in New Orleans. I mean, that's impacted me a lot. So it's funny too you say that, because I say I'm a native Texan that's been cultured in Louisiana. So
yeah.
I mean, my food preference, my music preference, all that's from Louisiana.
My brother is in New Orleans right now, so that's where he's in a band, and he loves it.
Yeah,
and I love going.
Yeah,
I completely. I mean, I get it.
It's a fun city to visit.
Yeah, it's a fun city to visit. How about living in there?
In New Orleans, I don't know, but in Lafayette,
yeah,
it's a small town.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a small town. It's a small major city, and
right.
It's on the come up. So
yeah,
that's always a good thing, just to see it growing.
So when did you get back here? Because I mean, you've got a lot going on, really.
Yeah.
Because even with Geraldines, you're doing like a wellness, a health and wellness program. Is that?
Yeah. So it goes back to health being approachable by everyone. You've been in the industry for a while. The hospitality industry and the food industry, it's a crazy industry, right? It's not really the best environment to nurture good mental health, right? So the way that I see to combat that would be exercise, eating the right foods, and then with this wellness program, you also incorporate mental health. So like sleeping, hobbies,
really important,
reading, praying, meditating, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like self-care, go get a manicure or pedicure for whatever need you get. Go get a massage, go do some cryotherapy, some float therapy, go get your checkup from the dentist and the doctor.
I love that, the focus on sleep particular, because a lot of, especially in the industry, right?
Yeah.
People don't, I don't even know if they pride themselves on the fact that they don't get enough sleep, but it's always, got to be back here in 5 hours.
Right.
So I still need to go home.
Yeah.
I still need to, try and sleep and then get back here in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Not healthy.
It's not good at all. You need at least, 7 hours of sleep, at least.
7 hours minimum. Yeah, that's solid. So is this health and wellness, like, just to focus on that a little bit, something that you're organizing or are you a part of?
It's a brainchild of mine.
Okay, that's so cool.
So I started it at Geraldines.
Yeah.
Originally, it started off as like an experiment, like a 6-week experiment where I offered like a sprint class to the line cooks that I work with, right? So every Monday and I want to say Thursday, we went out to the track after work.
Oh, at literally sprint. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did sprints. Like I led a sprint class, right?
Oh, nice.
They enjoyed it. They loved it.
Cool.
After 6 weeks, they said that they felt better. Even we got some injuries, but they still felt better overall, like total wellness.
Right.
They lost weight. They were in a better attitude. They were producing better food. You could see the quality of the food just jumping up a little bit. So it got me thinking. It's like, man, there's more to being completely well than just exercise. So I was like, well, let's start this challenge essentially, and have food, mental, self-care, all that stuff.
That's cool.
And it's kind of taken off at the hotel, and now other hotels within Kempton, which is what Hotel Van Zandt is, the Kempton restaurant or Kempton Hotel. Other hotels are trying to get into it too. So like you got like Philadelphia, you got Denver. There's even our hotel in Cayman Islands is trying to jump in on it.
Yeah, they need to fly out there.
Right. I'll go out there and teach a couple classes.
Sure. Bring me. But that is not only is that cool, it's so important to kind of shine a light onto, because the guy's in the kitchen for however many hours a day, just say 8, on average, on his feet. Exercise is so important, and sometimes that guy gets caught in, or gal gets caught in a trap where their feet are sore, and it's actually, as better to actually practice physical fitness,
right?
Fit that into your routine. That'll make all those days standing. You'll be stronger,
right?
So that's something you've learned. Just curious, what's your approach? You work in the kitchen still,
right?
Amongst other things,
right?
When do you exercise? I mean, obviously, it's a weird question for you because you're a personal trainer.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, actually, you'd be surprised at how little exercise personal trainers get, depending on how busy they are.
I was wondering that because, Chef James, all the way back to episode 2, which is not that long ago, but he was here, and he actually offered to come do some stuff with me,
right.
And I was wondering, I was like, it's like a chef who eats all day,
right?
It's like, aren't you full? But if you talk to them, they're smart about it. They're little nibbles. Sometimes some will spit it out, and but that's like a strategic way. But it's so you expand. You don't get much, right?
Yeah, you don't really get much as a personal trainer. But I mean, I have a goal, and it's a goal that's ticking. So I would just wake up earlier. I wake up earlier than my first client, and I get to work.
Is your Instagram page public? Mm-hmm. And it's at on Instagram. What is it?
It's at Darryl Payne Jr.
Okay, at Darryl Payne Jr. And I just want to pick that up because anybody who doesn't, just look that up if you're listening to this. And Benjamin Porter.
Yeah,
has he always collaborated with you?
Well,
I know I'm going off course a little bit, but he's great.
When I found out he was a photographer when we worked at Whole Foods, I was like, hey, Ben, we got to get together, get some shots. And then I think one day I finally just pulled the trigger. I was like, hey, Ben, look, I'm going to give you $100. Okay. What can I get with $100? And he's like, I'll take you out. Let's go do a photo shoot. So kind of did that first photo shoot and got like a really good response. So I was like, okay, cool. Ben's my guy. I'm going to continue to work with him.
Oh, you guys work very well together.
Yeah,
that's, like I said, that's his page there. Go look at it because there's some excellent photos of you, and you are currently, like I said, I don't know if shredded's the word, but you look great.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, but you have a goal, and it shows.
Thanks.
It shows. So when you go to just forget personal training.
Okay.
Cooking in a kitchen. When are you fitting in your time? Like your me time for exercise, not everything else.
Like just straight up, just exercise.
Yeah.
To be honest, there is no time where I just exercise just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
I might get someone who says, "Hey, bro, let's go work out," and I guess that would be my.
So you take advantage
my me
of
time.
that.
Yeah, I just go have fun.
There's so many hours in a day in between Geraldines, the health and wellness, personal trainer, training for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing it.
I mean,
how are you though?
Time management.
Yeah,
I learned very early that there's 24 hours in a day, and you gotta make the most of each hour. So
absolutely,
yeah.
So you really focus on the sleep and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sleep is a factor that I in this past year just started actually being aggressive about.
Yeah. Is that something? How'd you learn? How did it come to your attention to focus on that?
So I used to always say that you have to work out hard but recover harder, and to me recovery was like foam rolling, ice baths, Epsom salt baths. But when you do more research, you're like, oh, you get most of your recovery when you're sleeping. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm averaging 4 hours of sleep now, so let's start being aggressive about sleep. So I went up to my chefs and I kind of asked to be taken off the line so I can go to do prep in the morning and allow myself to go home, take care of business, and situate my clients between or around Geraldines, and it allows me to get a full 8 hours of sleep every night.
And that was about a year ago that you really started to hone in on that, and you've noticed a difference?
I have noticed a difference, yeah.
Okay.
I've always recovered from injuries fast, but now it's kind of weird that I'm recovering from workouts faster.
Right.
So, I mean, if I get injured, I'll recover from it faster, and if I get some kind of weird soreness, I'm able to work on that and recover from that faster. It's kind of weird,
yeah. But
I mean, it works out amazingly well. Sleep is like the catalyst for performance.
Okay, well there you go. Key. Note that. So injuries can be tough for like a person with a goal,
right?
Because you need to keep pushing, and it may be hard to like click your mind off to say, I need to keep pushing. But if I keep pushing, or like you can jump the gun, you get impatient.
Right.
Is that a problem, or do you?
So the thing about injuries is that with me, it's usually my quad or my hamstring. That's usually where I get the injuries at.
Yeah.
And
how long are they lived for?
They're about 6-week injuries, depending on
With
severity.
no performance in there, or do you?
I start jumping back in around 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
So I tend to push it to move a little faster.
Sure.
To encourage it. But the thing about injuries is that they tell you about holes in your training. So if my hamstring pulls, then it's telling me that it's doing too much work for some muscle in the body. So you gotta you look at your programming, talk with your coach, like, okay, let's work more on hip flexors, let's work more on your quads, let's work more on your core, and so while that muscle's healing, you're strengthening the other muscles so they can actually do their job.
Yeah.
And so it's not one of those things where you should feel set back by it. You should view it as something that brings your attention to an issue,
right?
And just focus on that issue. And that's like a break from your training, and you just whenever your hamstring's ready, jump back in.
That's a great approach.
Yeah,
it's a good way to go about it without getting all hung up in the gutter. So when you train or just exercise in general, are you, there's some people who go all out, where they need a day to recover, or they just go maximum every time. But I've recently personally heard that if you can do 100 push-ups, well, do 50. If you can get, and these are just random,
right?
If you can do 20 pull-ups and do 10. And instead of taking a day off or 2 days off or that day that your body needs to kind of recoup, obviously it's not the same program, but just going kind of half every day.
Well, I wouldn't say go half every day. So that's what programming's for. So right now I'm in off season, so I'm focusing on strength.
Right.
So I'm not as strong as I will be in a couple weeks.
Right.
I kind of don't know how to explain it, to be honest with you, but
it's okay.
It's like programming. So you start off at a certain percentage. So I know my max. My squat, it's 500 pounds, right? So I can squat 500 pounds. But if I try that today, it wouldn't happen because I haven't worked on strength for however long.
Right. You kind of need to build yourself
up.
Up.
So now since I'm starting strength again, let's say I'm going to start at 60 or 70% of my strength. Right, I'm going to do reps at 70% of 500 pounds, my squat max, right? And then over the course of my summer or my off season, I'll build up to my max, and eventually I'll pass it, and then I have a new max. And by the time I have a new max, then I'm switching gears. So, just because you can do 500 pounds doesn't mean you should do it every day.
Of course,
you don't have to go 100% every day, but you need to be putting out a great effort every day, if that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. And the Olympics is interesting because you're training for a big event.
Right.
So is that change how you train? Because it's not like you're training for it's not like a football player who's getting ready for a game.
Right.
And then they kind of recruit from the game and then get ready for the next game. And they happen however many nights apart. Right. You're training for something that's down the road, big, huge event.
Right.
Even after that, how would you just continue? You obviously wouldn't continue on the same regimen, right?
You mean after the Olympics, or
after the Olympics? But it's got to change, just how you're prepping yourself for the Olympics, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like to prep to be an Olympian, you're trying to do better and better every year. So we call it a quad every 4 years. In that beginning year, I'm not necessarily taking it easy. I'm trying to do better than I did last year, right? And same thing every single year. And so it's you try to peak at the Olympics, and then after you peak at the Olympics, you're still trying to keep going even further for the next quad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
It does. So because you said sleep is important. Obviously, is it the most important thing? I don't know. They're all so important. Yeah. But diet, right?
Diet, yeah.
And I
Diet's
got
important.
to kind of like dig into, because I know like the Cajun and the Creole food was introduced to you, and that's part of your life. You're at Geraldines, you get to experiment.
Right.
But what, well, I guess two questions. How important is like sleep, the actual physical activity and diet? Because we always hear, it doesn't matter how hard you're doing everything else, that you need to be eating right.
Right. So the thing about...
And also, what are you eating?
Yeah, so the thing about diet is that, different athletes are blessed different ways, right?
Hold on. Does that mean that you get to eat whatever you want?
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
Okay.
But, I mean, it goes to say that if I'm an athlete, world-class athlete, and I'm just, I'm eating McDonald's every day, right? Fast food, Wendy's, whatever. And I'm performing like a world-class athlete.
Right.
It's working for me. But, the minute, I say, okay, I need to eat better.
You disrupt that.
Yeah, you disrupt it.
Right.
Your body's used to performing on crappy food.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
it's going to take time for your body to detox from the crap.
Yeah.
And,
You'd almost think it would be, like as soon as you start putting good nutrients in your body,
start performing better.
But I've heard that. I've heard that there's people like ultramarathon runners who are like eating M&Ms and fried chicken.
Right.
And they have never even consumed a supplement once.
Right.
And it's not even a thought in their mind.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to be eating. Well, I mean, I guess technically it is, but I feel like it would catch up to them eventually. They might not be able to go as long, but it's a diet. It's kind of one of those finicky things. Like the better you eat, I'm pretty sure I put everything on this. The better you're going to perform, but you have to train your body to perform on the food that it's eating.
That's true. That's when you're truly tuned in. Is what what you're eating is going to affect how you are tomorrow or later in the day, or even 10 minutes from then.
Right.
I once upon a time used to enjoy running a lot, and I got injured and it all fell apart. Sort of. I'm still able to go run, but I remember focused on what I was eating the night before, specifically from like my run in the morning.
Right.
But I also think that when you're exercising the way that you do, which is intense, as far as I can tell,
right,
according to your Instagram, I mean, to the average Joe, you're pushing it a lot harder than a lot of people out there.
Right.
But that might just be like, yeah, we can eat ice cream. It's just going to burn right through my system. Is that the case for you personally?
Sometimes, yeah, it is. Well, most of the time it is true.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily what I should be eating. Like I can tell a difference when, like if I eat something heavy like gumbo, and then I have to go run. The next day? Yeah, and then the next day, like I have to go run like some 200s or something.
Right.
I'm gonna feel that gumbo.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. You kind of get like tuned into what your body needs, and you're like aware of that. Even when you're eating the gumbo, you're like, all right, might be a little slower tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel it.
All right. It's also good if you actually know that you can be prepared for it. Because when you're out there running, it can be, wrench in the spokes if that hits you without off guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're sitting there wondering why you feel so heavy and why you feel so sluggish.
Right, but don't eliminate gumbo.
No.
Or ice cream.
I can't.
No, I'm sure you can't.
I crave it too much.
So at home, what are you making yourself? And I asked a couple questions about like, is that more important? But I mean, obviously we kind of summed up. I mean, it is important, the diet. I mean,
it's funny because I didn't really cook at home before.
Really,
yeah.
So much surprises me about you.
I'm also a chef too, so it's like
you mean you cook at work, and
I cook at work, and then by the time I get home, I'm just tired. I'm like I don't want to eat. I don't want to cook anything.
I can't tell me how many people have come out and just been like, no, it's Domino's pizza. I'm not cooking anything. Ham and cheese sandwich.
My go-to was like a ham and cheese sandwich with cereal and milk.
Yeah, there you go. Put some food in your belly.
Yeah. But now I'm trying to gain weight because, the heavier you are, the faster you go downhill on an ice sled. So I started meal prepping.
What is, meal prepping?
Yeah.
Any help with Chef James on that, or is that your own thing?
It's my own thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's meal prepping. I've worked for a meal prepping company before, and I've seen different meal preps, and I'm just not impressed with the quality of the food.
Okay.
And not to say Chef
Coming
James
from a chef.
Yeah, not to say Chef James isn't putting out good quality food.
Have you seen what he's doing at all? Like
No.
Okay.
But I listened. I heard what he said. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's great.
But it's just like, I'm from Louisiana. So food has to be good.
Yeah.
And it can't get boring. So
if you're able to do it yourself, I mean, you obviously
Yeah.
wouldn't need.
Yeah.
ATX Fit Chef is what we're referring to as Chef James, and he was on here way back episode 2.
Right.
And anyone could go listen to that. But I'll throw out there up some information about him. But you're a chef. I mean, you cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you're good at. So, I mean, obviously, typically, if you want to do a meal prep, you're not going to want someone else to put it together for you.
right.
So, what do you put in yours?
So-
sure, it changes, but
Yeah, I mean, for now it's kind of like I prep 2 meals for the week. So, like for breakfast, I might have rice, some ground turkey, and some eggs. And whenever I'm on the road, I just like heat that up and then eat it like at the gym, right?
yeah.
And then for my other meal, it's beer can chicken or beer butt chicken, I guess, depending on where you're from.
Okay.
Some sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts, and like a little blueberry sauce to go with it. And then that's like a dinner, or I guess like a dinner type meal.
All right.
And then I also have other meals in between that in different places. So like when I'm at the restaurant, I might have 2 meals there.
Are you like factoring macros and nutrients? Or are you just kind of going with
I tried that,
good?
but I got bored really fast. So
Yeah, I'm sure.
right now it's just eat, just eat everything. Be on a seafood diet, seafood, eat it.
What about any kind of like intermittent fasting? Is that something that's ever come to your attention?
In my experience, intermittent fasting has been for people who are like trying to lose weight.
Trying to lose weight.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and I think I was doing that probably accidentally.
Intermittent fasting. Well, between all the work you do, yeah.
You just kind of forget to eat sometimes.
You forget to eat. I've heard people that try intermittent fasting, it works so much better because they can be more productive.
Right.
They don't have to stop and eat. But
Right.
you're already productive.
Right.
I agree. Yeah. So I think it is for people who. I also have heard that you can sustain a lot of energy, and it's actually just easier to be productive like that. You pick a window to eat and not to eat. But in your case, food is fuel.
Right.
Right. So it's going in. And is there any? I mean, do you factor in like cheat things, or do you just kind of roll with it?
I just roll with it.
Yeah. I'm assuming you do. You're young enough. I mean, you're fit enough that. I mean,
Whole Foods taught me a lot about how to eat. So I stay away from the refined sugars and all that stuff as
Sure.
much as I can. But Bluebell recently came out with their ice cream sandwiches again, so kind of killed a whole box of those.
yeah.
But
So do you get that when you're burning through calories the way that you do? I mean, because you have to, right? I mean, I know that you said you don't like pick, you don't have times where you're specifically exercising,
right.
but you're obviously exercising and you're plowing through calories. But do you get like these like massive, times where you're craving like food, like sugar and or carbohydrates? I guess it would be.
I would say that time is probably after the first workout in the morning.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you actually satisfy the craving?
No, because I don't have time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta keep it moving.
Yeah.
But like there'll be times where like after the first workout, I'm just maybe chilling and sitting on Instagram and something will come across my feed. Like, man, that looks so good. Like a giant honey bun, or not a honey bun, a cinnamon roll,
Yeah.
or something. But yeah, I get those cravings all the time. But can I satisfy them? Not at the moment. And then it just goes away. That's how I deal with that.
Well, that's if you don't have time, then you're good.
Yeah.
If you did have time and you were left to your own devices, who knows?
Yeah, my off days are terrible sometimes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But you need to be happy.
Yeah.
So, what's Geraldines like, man? I know you said you got to have some freedom over there, but every time I go there, I said it's great. It's cool.
So Geraldines is it's a great restaurant. It's a new American restaurant. There's something from dang near every region. And we recently had some Cajun dishes on the menu. We have some Guamanian dishes. We have some Japanese dishes, some Mexican dishes. Of course, American dishes. But the food, it's it's either you have, a lot of times in the culinary world, you have either creative or you have really good, right? And then, you know, with that, you have the level of plating. And sometimes, you know, depending on how far or whatever scale you're on, they can't really mesh at the same time. So, but I feel like Geraldine's like really in the middle of that. You know, there's flavorful food and there's creative food. And that's what I really love about Geraldine's, you know.
Right.
They bring in a lot of different techniques. We bring in a lot of different techniques. We bring in a lot of flavors, bring in a lot of creativity.
Right.
And somehow we just get those two to mesh really well.
Cool. And you said you're mostly there in the mornings right now?
Yeah.
And that works really well for you.
Yep.
I'm trying to get Chef Garrett on here.
Get him.
Oh, he's coming. I'll twist his arm enough to where he'll show up one day.
Yeah. He's on paternity leave right now, so hit him with that.
Okay.
He's not doing anything.
That's when he said he would come, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the whole month of May.
Oh. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
So this is his first day, huh? Or
I think it started on Monday, but yeah.
We'll see what happens. No pressure, Chef Garrett.
Yeah.
No pressure. But we briefly talked about Lafayette, and before coming to Austin, I know that you've been to Escoffier.
Yeah.
What led you from Lafayette to Austin, or was that the direct course?
No, middle ground was Baylor.
Okay.
So I went to Baylor, red track there for a little bit. I had a friend that went to the Culinary Institute of America, CIA.
And San Antonio?
No, she went in New York.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, Hyde Park or Ithaca or something like that.
That's cool.
And when she left, she was like, Darryl, you're always cooking. You know, you should think about going to culinary school too. So thought about it, kind of did my research, and didn't really want to go to New York because it's cold up there. It's kind of funny.
Good choice.
Considering the sport that
that is funny.
I came across August Escoffier. It was an accelerated program. So
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 40 weeks, and I was like, okay, let's jump on it. Let's get this done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of good experiences there. You know, met some good chefs.
Do you keep up with them?
Every once in a while. I keep
Okay.
up with Chef Jason Reynolds.
Okay.
Kind of follow his story a little bit as much as I can, or as much as he'll post. I reach out to him like once in the blue moon, but yeah.
Sure. And he's receptive to that?
Yeah.
That's great.
I also talk to, every once in a while too, I'll run into someone that he's taught. So I work with our pastry chef at Geraldines, was taught by him too. So
okay.
It's really funny. He's taught, I feel like he's taught all of Austin. Yeah, he's a really good chef that I met. You know, met some really good farmers. You know, Sebastian over at Countryside Farms. Really cool cat. You know, he's French, kind of the crazy French guy, but he's cool.
I know a couple of those.
Yeah, but yeah, culinary school. It's an experience for sure.
Yeah, taught you a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, taught you a lot about technique and
just the whole foundation.
Just everything.
Yeah.
So, when you left there, did you leave? I know, like Le Cordon Bleu does an extern or an internship.
Externship, yeah.
Okay, do you do the same sort of thing?
Yeah, we did that too, yeah.
So where'd you go for that?
I did mine while I was at Whole Foods.
Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's kind of when we crossed paths.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think about Whole Foods? I know it taught you a lot about like the refined sugars and whatnot.
Yeah.
From like the grains, what was that program that they had?
HSH or something like that?
Yeah.
Healthy starts here.
Okay, yeah.
That was like their thing.
Jogging the memory a little bit.
I haven't seen that much when I've been in Whole Foods. I haven't seen anything.
Well, Whole Foods gone through some changes.
HSH. Yeah.
It has. Is that still there? That's good.
HSH? I don't know. I haven't seen it. They don't really like throw it in your face anymore if it's still there.
Whole Foods is great though. That Whole Foods in particular on 6th Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Great spot.
Yeah.
Still is.
For
Do you
sure.
go down there?
Yeah, that's the one I go to.
You go. So you live in that area ish?
Well, I mean, I spend most of my life downtown.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's when I go to whenever I do.
Not a bad place to spend life.
Right.
Yeah, it can be good.
Yeah.
Especially considering all the surrounding highways. It's good to just get stuck down there. So, speaking of downtown,
Mm-hmm.
where are you eating? Okay, this is my question. I asked Chef James this.
Okay.
I'm asking everybody this. Here, sorry. He's where's your hidden gems?
My hidden gem downtown.
Yeah, or it doesn't have to be down. Your hidden gem anywhere that someone can go eat.
Okay.
It can't be in Lafayette.
Right. So I have a couple places that I hit up every once in a while. So Sandy's Burgers. Have you ever heard of them?
That's like, on Barton Creek? Or?
Yeah, next door
Barton
to
Springs,
next door to Whataburger.
Okay, yeah.
Their chicken
what is
sandwich.
That, Congress
is really
or First?
Good. It's First Street, but I'm not sure what street.
Okay.
Is the cross street.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
So that's the spot.
Yeah, they're really good. So their grilled chicken sandwiches is what I get, and their shakes are really good too.
Yeah.
Then there's Burger Bar for, I want to say Marriott. They're in the Marriott. It's like a walk-up bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also going to get a sous chef over here.
Okay.
He was actually supposed to come tonight, ironically.
Oh.
But Burger Bar. So you eat that right on the corner there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That place is really good. Counter Cafe.
Chef Phil was on here.
From Counter Cafe?
Yeah.
So Counter Cafe has to probably be my favorite breakfast spot in Austin.
Oh, you got to listen to that with him.
Okay.
He's so cool.
It's the food there it's priced just the way it should be priced.
Yeah.
And it's super simple and it's executed really well. So
yeah.
it's my favorite breakfast spot in Austin.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, no, he did the podcast, and the next time I was in there, I couldn't eat. A lot of times when I'm in these places, I can't like just stop and eat.
Right.
But all I wanted to do was eat. It was horrible. I was like, I just want to sit down and order food.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good, especially after talking to him. I believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
I mean, it's not really a hidden gem, but I mean, my favorite restaurant in Austin is Fix. So I think that's how you say it.
And what's your favorite thing on the menu there?
Oh, shoot. I haven't been there in forever, so the menu probably changed. But
yeah.
I mean, everyone loves their biscuits, of course.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing when I was there was the blackened snapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blackened anything is really good, right?
Yeah, it was really good. It was amazing.
Do you know the chef over there by any chance?
James Robert, right? That's his name?
I'm not sure.
I'm
asking, honestly. I don't know.
They opened up a Fort Worth location.
Cool.
So I think he might either be there, like being like the executive chef there, but I know he's like, I think he's over both of them.
Cool.
They have a chef de cuisine at the one here now. So
nice. That's a good suggestion, though.
Yeah.
No one's brought that up, but I asked everybody. Just so you know, those are good though, especially because Phil was on here. So that's cool. So anything else that you have going on? I mean, anything. I mean, you're, in my opinion, when I add up the hours in the day and what you do and how you factor in sleep, I don't know how you do what you do. I already said that. But is there anything that you do in your leisure?
I
Unless
can't say that there. I mean,
yeah.
I have like a little alter ego that comes out every once in a while on Instagram. So I have like basic video editing skills because of it. But
yeah,
that's really just it.
Yeah. Hopping on Instagram? What do you do there?
So my alter ego's name is Shanita Clay. It's funny because it's a Snapchat filter.
Okay.
The one with the big lips and
I don't get on Snapchat.
The eyes, yeah.
How have I not seen this?
It's because I haven't done it in forever.
Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't come out in a long time, but
Shanita Clay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she just lives in my stories.
All right.
Right. She's just like a kid, like a character, just like based on Black moms.
Okay. So if she doesn't, maybe now's the time. Does she have a story? Or
no, she's just a Black mom.
That's it.
She loves her.
Everything
kids
before that was amnesia.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
She's got kids though.
Yeah.
Kids' names or just
kids? I think. Oh, her son's name is Lil Michael. Her husband's name is Bernard.
You got to do this again soon.
Yeah. I mean.
Now there's going to be some pressure because
she's in my highlights though. So if you go to my my Instagram, you'll see a whole bunch of highlights.
Oh, that's great
with just her.
But that's it. So if you're training for the Olympics and you're working and you're a personal trainer also,
yeah,
your alter ego might come out.
Yeah,
that's the case.
Yeah. So
you got a couple clients literally tonight, or one.
Yeah, I have a couple clients. Yeah.
So what's that look like? Because I know I was wanted to pick Chef James, mind a little bit more. Like I wanted to bring up like keto diets,
right,
which I didn't, and I guess I can ask you a little bit about that. Or if you get with the personal training specifically, I mean that's so unique to each person, right?
Right.
But what does it look like when you show up to like do a personal training session?
Basically, they come in and they tell me their goals, right? And
That's what he said too.
We're talking, and in all the conversation, I'm trying to figure out their lifestyle. I'm trying to figure out, how active they are. When they walk in the door, you're watching their movement.
Yeah.
Just trying to see what's obvious, so you can, attack that first, and or not, depending on the issues. And it's really straightforward. You come in, you tell them what you want, and I basically just write a program that surrounds that.
So when you write a program, I'm not looking to get any like free personal training from you, but I'm just curious. We talked real briefly offline before we started on the mics here, but I have a tendency to like jump rope, warm up, like push-ups,
right,
some pull-ups, something like that, and then I've got some machines for some other things. But that's it. That's why I have the book there that I showed you, where there's all kinds of different. It's like the Navy SEALs book with all kinds of different. But what's like the standards? Like, I mean, is there something that you always come back, like push-ups? Like that's like a standard, or is it?
Right. Basically, you want to get like a push, and you want to get a pull. You want to hit the posterior chain. You want to do some core, and that's really kind of like what I use
On certain days.
That's like a standard
for like one session.
For multiple sessions, you can. Yeah. I can hit those 3 times a week, and you will get a good workout.
Right.
But like I have a client right now. I hit. We went through a phase of strength and power, right? So bench, deadlift, some jumps, stuff like that, plyometrics, and then we went through a phase where we just did like fat burning, so. Right.
Would that be cardio, or is it more lifting?
It's there's still lifting in there, but it's a quicker pace, and
like a hit kind of.
And and you're just going, going straight for like 30 minutes.
So you do a hit workout for 30 minutes.
It depends. It depends on what phase the client's in. What the client wants. So
because that hit can be brutal, right?
Yeah, and that's where personal trainers come in. That's where I come in.
That would be, because I can picture myself doing my hit where it's completely coached by myself.
Right. I
can set timers and stuff. But if I had somebody screaming at me to keep going, it might make a little bit of a difference, because I can definitely crap out real quick.
Right. And, there's a tendency to want to take breaks. And I'm there to cut that break short.
Yeah.
So, and, that's the thing. I'm watching you to make sure that you're safe the entire time, that you're moving correctly. And when your form starts to break apart, then I'll shut it down. But if you're still looking good, and I'm coaching you, hey, watch your elbows. Hey, keep that core tight. Watch your ribs. Make sure you're breathing. If you're still responding to all that, then we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going hard. But if I'm telling you all these cues, and you're not responding to any of them, and I single one out and just stay with it for a while, and you're still not responding to it, then all right, let's end the workout right there.
Right, because it's like I mean, so you can be too tired, right? Worn out.
Right. And that's where injuries come in.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any piece of equipment? You saw the 2 pieces I have that you like for, like exercise?
My favorite piece of equipment is just a barbell.
Yeah.
It's something that I do most of my work with. So like squats,
sure,
deadlifts, power cleans, snatches, all that stuff.
And you kind of like that goes off to the clients as well. Sometimes
it depends on the client. Our owners are like, don't put a client under a barbell if you don't have to. Okay. It's like one of those like advanced movements.
Oh, okay.
So
more graduates or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that some of the guys that have hired you for the personal training know that you know how to cook.
Not really. I don't really advertise that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a secret, but
it's not a secret. But if it comes up, nobody's ever asking, hey, what should I be eating here?
That's why I don't advertise it, because I'm not a dietitian.
Yeah.
So I kind of like have to stay within my scope of practice.
I really don't want to put you on the spot when I ask this, and like, don't worry about it. And Chef James is busy.
Okay.
But when he told me what he was doing,
Yeah.
like, and right away I thought about you, because he's like personal trainer / meal prep. I was like, that's what Darryl should do. But you are a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Which I truly didn't even know. Okay. Till very recently. But I mean, what are your thoughts on it? And like I said, I don't want to put you on the spot. There's no pressure. Yeah. But it might work really well for you.
Yeah.
To do something like that.
It definitely might work really well, but at the same time,
you have a lot going on.
Food is tricky though. Like you can't just necessarily just go out and say, hey, I'm going to cook for you. And then like all of a sudden you have a big following. Now you got to get like permits and stuff. You can't like get busted by the food department.
Like I know he said he cooks at the client's home. Right. And that was a question that I had, because I was like, how it always comes back to me, how many hours, how do you do this all in a day? Yeah. You're cooking for multiple clients and stuff. But permits, things like that. Like if you were to do it offsite in a commercial kitchen, that turns into a whole fiasco. Mm-hmm. But also like certain diets, right? Mm-hmm. And he did touch on that briefly. But what are your approaches to? I know that the things that you said, you had sweet potato in there for dinner. Yeah. You had rice, so you got carbs in there. Mm-hmm. You're not like on that like keto train or anything like that.
Those fad diets, no, I don't really.
So you call it like a fad, like something like that, or like just like diets diet, in general.
Paleo, all that stuff.
Paleo too, yeah. But paleo is pretty simple, right? I mean, some of them I give the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, oh, you mean just cut out sugar and eat real food? So you're paleo.
Well, I call it a fad diet because it starts off as, I feel like, something that's really good, and then all of a sudden you have like people want to have certain things, so they're like, oh, this is okay if I do it this way. Like,
you mean like vegans who eat chicken because it's soy?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Chicken fried tofu.
I was a vegan at one point. Yeah. I mean, I was a vegetarian forever. I'm not ragging on anybody, but it's like, I think that's what you mean, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not shooting anyone down, but it's like, like for paleo, for instance. It started off as like anything that a caveman would eat, like was the way to explain it, right? Yep. Now you have paleo bread. Cavemen didn't know how to bake bread. They didn't know how to make cookies. Right. So, it's just like one of those things like, well, I tried to follow it for a little bit, and then now it's like, it's all complicated. So
it is complicated.
Not any of that stuff anymore.
So when you focus on what's going to go into your body, and forget the days where, Bluebell's come out with either ice cream bars or back. Ice cream sandwiches. Yeah. I'll have to check that out. I've never had those.
Oh, they're amazing.
And I have a 5-year-old. I have a perfect excuse to have those here. Yeah. So they're amazing, right? Different flavors.
I think they just have vanilla for now.
That's good, though. Yeah. That's good, though. It's almost better to just know it's just vanilla. Yeah. Because it's going to be killer. But when you're focusing, and I just keeping it simple, you'll eat a piece of bread, or you'll eat eggs, you'll eat bacon, you'll eat kind of whatever, just not like adding in unnecessary things. Right. Is probably the main focus, right? So simple.
Yeah. That's where Whole Foods comes into play. I can't remember all of the standards of HSH, but it was like basically Whole Foods, so like whole grains. No refined sugars, healthy fats. Okay. They were like no more than 3 ounces of meat. I threw that out. I threw that one out and just eat as much meat as I want. But
do you have a protein of choice?
I like fish and I like chicken.
Yeah. Any kind of fish in particular? Just
my favorite fish is Copper River salmon.
Copper River salmon.
Yeah, it's because of Whole Foods. Whole Foods changed my life when it comes to food.
Yeah? Yeah, basically. So you frequent there for food?
I just go there for my fresh food, so like proteins and produce.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, stay out of the aisles. They're very particular with the inners of the store. Yeah. But yeah, the produce is good. What about Sprouts? You ever get over there?
I go to Sprouts. I've been to Sprouts a couple of times to find like the exotic foods. So like I've been there to get
check out their produce a little bit.
Stuff like that too.
Sometimes, yeah, they've got really, really good produce. Okay. And then in comparative, Whole Foods, since Amazon is a little bit better with the produce prices. Yeah. But really still, comparatively with the Sprouts, the quality is literally sometimes better.
Okay.
And then the prices are cheaper. So
Nice.
don't overlook Sprouts.
I won't. And Whole Foods also just dropped freaking all their prices. So, or not all, but
again?
a lot of them. Yeah.
Wow.
They had a huge price cut. Like pasture raised chicken was cheaper than the organic chicken. It was crazy. It's like it's supposed to be opposite, but it works. Works for
It's
me.
supposed to be opposite, right?
Yeah.
So that is weird. Yeah, it works for you. So do you ever miss being over at the Whole Foods? I mean, like I said, for me, it's got this very weird sentiment. I just love that store. You still go there. So
yeah, I still go there. It was. I miss it. I miss some aspects of it. I miss how they're the area. What is it called? The opportunity. It's limitless. You know, you can go wherever you want. But when I left, you know, my final days there, it was becoming more and more corporate. So it was more rigid, more structured. But I guess, you know, all that Amazon stuff was happening behind the scenes. I just didn't know it.
Yeah. I don't think that slowed down the more rigidness and structured things that seem unnecessary, I guess you could say, when we were just talking about food.
Yeah.
Some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't.
Yeah. But now at Kempton, it's almost like the same feel, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy how Kempton didn't start in Austin because it's pretty much an Austin company just as much as Whole Foods is.
So what other hotels are under that like umbrella?
We only have one Kempton in Austin.
Hotel Van Zandt.
Yeah, and I think but there's like 65 across the world or something like that.
Okay.
So.
And they're not all called Hotel Van Zandt.
Right. They're called Kempton Hotel South Beach or Kempton Hotel Monaco.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole proper name is Kempton Hotel Van Zandt or Kempton Hotel Van Zandt.
Yeah, they just put their name in front of it.
Okay.
The one here is Kempton Hotel Van Zandt.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. But you like Hotel Van Zandt and Geraldines. And Chef Garrett is sous chef. Mm-hmm. And the exec
he's our executive sous chef.
And who's the exec chef?
Stephen Bonham.
And how's he?
He's great.
He's great.
Yeah.
Hands-on in the kitchen?
He tries to be. I mean, he's a hotel chef, so
right. No, I understand.
Yes, he's everything
curious.
that goes in people's mouths. He's in charge of. So
it's
sometimes it sucks because he's a really good cook. He came from Odd Duck.
Cool. It's been a reoccurring theme. Odd Duck too here. So
he spent a lot of time like at the really like upper echelon restaurants in Chicago. Yeah, like Moto.
Wow.
And
I'm from Chicago, so that's great.
Yeah,
he's got Alinea really out there and stuff. And
he knows all those techniques. You know, I go up to him all the time and ask him like for help with like molecular gastronomy stuff, and he knows it.
Oh, that's
so yeah. He's a really good chef. I love him.
Cool.
It's a shame that he doesn't get to cook more with being the executive chef. It always
is though, right? Yeah. When you see the exec chef and they got to get behind the computer or whatever.
Yeah.
So I know it's silly to ask like if you've got any kind of like future goals because you have like this glaring goal.
Yeah.
That, you know, like I mean, you got a lot of support behind that.
Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah, I feel good.
When is everything? I mean, I'm sorry, I should probably know, but
like the Olympics.
Yes. And where?
The next Winter Olympics are in Beijing, China.
Okay.
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
And how? I mean, can you briefly? Because obviously, there's not. I mean, I don't even know the percent of the population that's involved with being Olympic athletes.
Like the process of becoming a skeleton athlete?
Well, skeleton or like what do you do? It's in China.
Yeah.
It's 2020. You're not officially accepted. Is that the word?
Right. So there's no Olympic team right now.
Okay.
Like for any sport.
You're going to get recruited, or you obviously go out.
You
for
compete.
it?
Like I said, you compete every year in the quad, right? And then the season leading up to it is what's known as the Olympic year, the Olympic season. Okay. So you're competing.
That is the year.
Mm-hmm. You're competing as hard as you can, and for every sport it's different. But for skeleton,
well, hold on, that's this year.
No, that's for Summer Olympics.
Okay.
2020 is Summer Olympics.
Okay, so winter. Okay,
yeah,
skeleton.
Yeah. So that season starts, I want to say July for the summer events, summer sports. But yeah, so the year before 2021 leading up to 2022, right? Basically it's based on world rankings.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to your rank in the United States. So at team trials, they'll select the top 6 skeleton athletes, and then those guys are competing on the World Cup. And then I guess essentially, if all 3 sliders or all 6 sliders do well, then we get 3 sleds for the country to compete in the Olympics. But if not, I think we just get 2. And then, our coaches will select the top 2. And I think that's based on ranking for the U.S.
There's there's so much on the line, right? I mean, you're dedicating your life basically to this.
Yeah.
So, man, there's some pressure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be. I mean, obviously, there's the thought that it doesn't happen, right? But I'm sure you feel pretty confident that it will.
Yeah.
But there's no way to tell, right?
Right.
You just kind of have to see what happens.
Just compete every day. Just push.
So obviously, good luck with that. I mean, that's incredible, and that will be the coolest thing.
Right.
But so the training going up to that in New York, right?
Yeah.
So you're physically doing the act of the skeleton. So what is that? I mean, can you just paint a broad picture for somebody who's completely green on what that would actually be like? Because like I said, I associate that with a kamikaze,
Right.
Flying down a hill,
just bombing off the top.
Yeah. But I know you run. You got some cleats, kind of, sort of things.
Yeah. Yeah. We have we call them brush bikes.
Yeah.
So I'm up there. I warm up just like a track athlete, right?
Yeah.
I'm outside doing little sprints, doing my dynamic stretches, whatever, what have you. Get to the line. There's a little green light and a timer, and then I can hear a guy, an announcer, and he's like, "Track is clear." And then the little green light comes on, and I hear a little ding. And once all that happens, I'm ready to go. Put the sled down on the ice, fits in a little groove so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I start sprinting with the sled in this awkward bent over position.
Oh, so you're actually running with the sled.
Yeah.
You don't run. I was picturing you're running and then you jump onto it.
No, so I'm holding the sled.
Okay.
I'm holding it. It's sliding on the ice.
Yeah.
And then I'm bent over. And
how heavy is that?
the sled is it depends on, see, that's another thing too. It depends on how heavy the slider is.
Okay.
So mine is I want to say 70 kilos. That might be too heavy, but it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how many pounds it is, but
So I'm sure that comes into training too. Everyone to know the rest of it, but just to run like that, right? You have to be
trying
in
to
your prime.
be comfortable in that position.
Yeah.
But yeah, after I sprint, sprint maybe 15, depending on the track, 15 meters.
Okay.
And then I'll load the sled, so I'll jump on. I switch from one side of my hand to the other side, and I grip both handles, and then I jump on. So now my hands are under me, my arms are to my sides, and I'm.
That's a funky position.
Yeah.
So do you do yoga?
No.
You
I'm just laying down.
But you should do yoga with your arms under you like that, because it would you'd be more flexible.
Yeah.
And then I also want to know, and I want you to continue, but is this the kind of thing where that landing can determine the rest of the race?
They say you want to land softly. You don't want to just plop down onto the sled.
But it's not like you get launched and you're quicker off the get-go.
No.
Okay. So it's just you just kind of want to land softly. It's not
right.
It's not the end all be all.
Because the sled can pop out of the grooves.
Okay.
So that's I think the main reason you want to land softly.
All right.
Because if you plop down and you bounce, you can bounce out of the groove, and then your whole race is screwed after that.
But it's not like taking off the starting point and if you were a second behind, you're done. It's other factors can play in down the course here or the track.
Right.
Okay.
So eventually the groove ends.
Right.
And then I'm in total control of the sled, or as much as I can be.
Yeah.
So I go into the curve.
Kamikaze mode.
Yeah. Okay. I'm steering with my shoulders and my knees.
Toes if you have to.
Yeah, and it's basically a core exercise, a core sport. So
right. You got to be aerodynamic. You got to hold a certain.
Yeah.
And then how long down do you go the track?
I think the track ranges from just under a mile to just over a mile.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I was not expecting. I was expecting seconds. That's what? 5 minutes?
No.
3 minutes?
No, it's less than a minute.
Holy
Yeah, you're racing down that track. You're going upwards of 85 miles an hour.
You said it doesn't feel fast. That's fast. You said no. You said it feels faster than it is.
Yeah,
85 miles.
When you first like start the sport.
Okay.
So like whenever you're at like
so that's
like start 4,
next level.
you're only going 40 miles an hour at start 4, and you feel like you're blazing.
Oh god.
And then you go up to the top, and you're like, oh, this is what fast feels like.
Yeah, 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, depending on the track. So not every track you can go.
There has to be risk here.
Yeah.
I mean, airborne,
but it's the safest
tumbling
sport.
over. It's the safest.
Yeah, it's the safest out of the 3.
You keep telling yourself that. No, it's so it is.
Yeah.
It's the safest.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had people pass away in luge.
Okay.
And bobsled, the bobsled itself is like 400 pounds. So whenever you crash,
well, let's just be thankful for a second that you're more qualified for this, the safer,
the
of
safest
them.
one, the safest
just standing
and the
here
slowest.
talking to you. I mean, the whole thing is really intense.
Yeah.
Everything leading up to it, you know, the dedication to be fit for it, and just the fact that like I don't know, it's almost like you're on the edge of your seat for a long, long time.
Yeah, and that right there is intense on the body. Like it's it's hard on the nervous system. Yeah,
that's. So you have to. I'm sure. Even just the thought of like if you overthink a little bit, that you can lose sleep over that.
Yeah,
just on a random night, right?
Yeah, there was been one night where I just really, really wanted a super fast start, and for some reason I just couldn't take my mind off it, and I lost sleep over it. But
is there something? This is going off just to the sleep. Because sleep is very important, and I love that you do that at the Geraldines with the health and wellness. Is that what you call it?
I call it Kemp and Fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I really like that you focus on sleep, because a lot of chefs, people in the culinary industry, doesn't really even matter if they're the bartending or whatnot. Mm-hmm. They don't. It's funny that people don't realize how. I mean, you get a good night's sleep and you feel better, but you're supposed to get a good night's sleep every night.
Right.
It's like one of the most important things in life.
Right.
Is there something that you do, and this is just where I was going with this, like at the end of the night to kind of tune your mind? I mean, you obviously don't take anything to go to sleep.
No.
You don't like drink.
I think just it's natural because I'm gone from like.
So you're working.
From 6 until 11 at night. So.
Well, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's good. And I will say this: we're talking to somebody who is training for the Olympics, and so that means you're not the average Joe. I mean, because there are people who can't turn it off. Like I'll be gone all day and I still can't sleep.
Yeah.
But it could be among other things. But I guess when you're pushing your body the way you are, and cooking all day, it's just something I'm not doing as well.
Yeah.
So no pointers on that. I'm good. That's your take on it.
Wear yourself out.
Wear yourself out.
Yeah.
That is key though.
Yeah.
I had I'll tell you this. My dad gave me a quote years ago, a little newspaper clipping, and it was so sentimental to me. And I'll tell you, it was a Walter Payton quote, and it's Walter Payton, 1980 Bears running back.
Sounds familiar.
It's past he was past your prime. He was like, I'm 37, and it was still, he was a running back for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Great running back. And he had this quote that my dad had cut out of a newspaper, so that's how long ago this was.
Right.
And it said, and you might like this, I don't know if you believe in like God or anything,
yeah,
but it really, you do. So, and I don't remember it. It's a loose interpretation of it now because I've lost the newspaper clipping, but it went into good hands. And it was, every day the good Lord gives me the opportunity to be good, better, or best. Mm-hmm. And every day I said to the good Lord, I will not rest until my good is better, my better is best.
That's good.
Whenever I read that, I was like, that's pretty well said.
Yeah.
And if you learn anything about him, and I had that newspaper clipping in my wallet for years, and I passed it on to somebody who needed it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that's what happened.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I like that quote. It's good. I think it's good for like an Olympic.
That's really good.
Yeah. I mean,
might steal that. Sorry, Walter.
Yeah, go for it. Use it. I mean, I think it's like literally just like this it was in a newspaper. I don't think it was ever a quote that got like, I've researched it and can't find it anywhere. So,
Yeah.
but I had it. There you go. I like it.
That's good.
Yeah. So you yourself could find yourself as a champion, right?
Yep. That's the goal.
That's the goal. Number one gold, right?
That is the goal. Yeah.
For Texas.
Yep.
For Austin.
Yep.
For Lafayette.
For Austin.
Oh, for Austin.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a Texan, native Texan. I still love Louisiana, but I'm a native Texan.
Yeah. And I see you cook like at home, like the broils and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, like the crawfish boils. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really did that as a fundraiser. People love it here.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
Yeah. I just jump
Well,
on
the
those.
next time you're doing that, tell me, and I'll put it out on the podcast here.
Okay.
You know, a couple episodes before to put some awareness out there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. But we've got Chef Darryl Payne / Olympic hopeful
Yep.
in the year's 2020, right?
2022.
2022.
Yes.
Okay. So good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've got support here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. You're welcome to come back here anytime you want to.
Okay.
Just know that.
Okay.
And yeah, it would be great.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.